we would like to tell a bit about our project called ARTEFACT, about how it started, and even show to you a little bit of a movie about how it happened. The ARTEFACT project started as the media art event that had to attract attention to the Chernobyl disaster, to the information, to the concealed information and propaganda that led to thousands of deaths. And then after 32 years, and now after 35, we knew very little about Chernobyl. But having a lot of problems and challenges of fake news and fake information, the Chernobyl case is something important to learn. What happens if the information is concealed? What's going to happen after 30 years since now? And through this research, we came to very difficult challenges that we're facing today. And we understand that the Chernobyl catastrophe information side is none less shocking than the radiation one. And in this respect, as a result of this project, we decided then after to run other projects. But since we started back in 2018, when there was so much fake news spread about Ukraine in the international media, that's why we wanted to attract attention of the media internationally not to forget that truthful information, genuine information, is not always on the surface. It has to be looked for. And for that, one requires take efforts. For that, we decided to run the first project called ARTEFACT. It had a great media company which told about the fake news, what media literacy is, why it is so important. And then it all started with the first event that we organized at the center of Pripyat, which is a ghost city today, which was participated by 200 media representatives and bloggers from all around the world. We invited them to activate the ARTEFACT media arts sculpture. It was the sculpture made by Svetlana Korshunova. It was the sculpture with artificial intellect, which read information from the modern media. It actually accepted the sounds of Chernobyl, and there were 20 different screens, and it would put on the screens different videos generated from the archives from Chernobyl from those years and right now, by showing and sharing the key message that life is changing, but the information like radiation is also invisible and can be both useful and then can do a lot of harm and pose threat. We then had a lot of publications, and it was an experiment performance where media representatives were directly engaged in the performance. They were invited to Chernobyl for the whole day, for the tour. They had to understand and make parallels between the then's and today's fake news and deceitful information. They were traveling around Pripyat, and then in the night they heard the sounds, and then they were actually invited to activate the ARTEFACT. ARTEFACT had to do with the picnic on the roads on the roadside when Strugatsky brothers wrote about their phenomenon. Such artifacts and abnormal zones were depicted by them. And one of the ARTEFACT events happened back in 2018 to bring up a message for the media representatives that they are responsible and they have to be very conscious because they are conductors of where the nation is going. Through mass media, we have an opportunity to influence the entire society. I would suggest now to first of all look at the video. Just watch it how it went, because I can tell you for hours, but it's best to see once than hear twice. That was the day, and that was the event.
Мертве місто ожило заради правди. Інтерактивну скульптуру встановили у Прип'яті.
Light for the Truth, an intellective arts sculpture, was presented in Ukraine.
В Чорнобильській зоні презентували незвичайний
In the
арт-проект.
Chernobyl zone, they presented a new art project. An interactive art object appeared in Pripyat.
Вечеринка в стиле постапокалипсис прошла.
Post-apocalyptic event happened in a key region.
И вы знаете, недавно нас постигла беда. Авария на Чернобыльской атомной электростанции. Она больно затронула советских людей, волновала международную общественность.
Зона — это очень сложная система, но стоит тут появиться людям, как все здесь приходит в движение. Исполнится ваше самое заветное желание.
Знеструмлена, що понад 30 років тому Прип'ять засяяла величезна
Скульптура, игра света, архивное видео и анимация, электронная музыка и звуки Чернобыля.
Electronic music, art installations, colourful animations, all these create a haunting post-apocalyptic atmosphere at a new exhibition near the Chernobyl nuclear power plant. It's called ARTEFACT. The event sets out to highlight the importance of sharing and spreading information. In the wake of the Chernobyl disaster in 1986, the Soviet authorities covered up the true devastation the reactor explosion caused. Now the ghost town of Pripyat, where the exhibition is being hosted, and the surrounding areas cannot be inhabited for more than 24,000 years.
Це було відео про те, як пройшов
This was a
проект.
video about the ARTEFACT project, the very first project that aimed to attract attention, attracting attention of international media to media literacy and to proper understanding that very few things changed over 35 years. We managed to attract a lot of attention, including international communities. We received more than 300 publications in 13 different languages, and we realized that Chernobyl is an interesting issue for the rest of the world, and that project was before the HBO's Chernobyl movie series, and it was a very interesting point that the issue of propaganda and that problem was discussed during the project. And then after, when the movie series were released, those issues became well known for the whole world. So it's very important to highlight historic positions through culture and modern technology by state-of-the-art means, because they engage the audience to rethinking and understanding the use of this information. They understand lessons learned, and they realize that everything has to be done to avoid that from repeating in the future. As we're watching some of those developments today we have free access to the internet and information, but we still continue to live with myths and fake stories that exist and get disseminated every day and every second. That's why we even dedicated the whole section in our application to fake news and fake stories. And we started working with Chernobyl issue through artistic means. After the project, we had a request to make a broader presentation of the project itself, its artistic features. So ARTEFACT project was continued by ARTEFACT Chernobyl as a media art exhibition. First, it was presented physically on the Riverside station in Pripyat. We had 15 exhibits that were part of the international exhibition. And then after this exhibition, in the following year, we expected it would actually be presented in the other parts of the world, but due to COVID, we had to make it fully virtual. But this only enriched the audience. We received a lot of virtual exhibits, even probably the biggest virtual exhibition ever existing with such a number of exhibits. And that is the first virtual exhibition on Chernobyl. I would like to show you the video about the evolution from the first exhibition, ARTEFACT 34, and ARTEFACT versus ARTEFACT Chernobyl 33, then 34, and how can Chernobyl ARTEFACT exhibition 35 look like. Thank you. Series of events all over Ukraine in a city center. The first exhibition took place in the center of Kiev, on the Kiev's river port. It is the first media art exhibition on Chernobyl. More than 12,000 visitors. Dozens of school classes. Virtual reality. Laser installations. Video projections. Historic documents. Tours. 17 artists and 20 exhibits. Very interested youth. Performances. Theater. Unique location in the downtown area of the city of Kiev. Music program every night. Music performance. Positive feedback from experts. Visitors, responders, and partners. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the project had to be continued online with 3D modeling in Chernobyl. The art residence for the artists. Remarkable locations. Exhibits right in Pripyat, 30 locations in town. Access through browser from any device possible, from any point on the planet. Virtual locations of Chernobyl. Newly created worlds by media artists. 50 artists engaged. Digital exhibits. Unique media activation. Night projections of the Ukrainian and international, and of the flags of Ukraine and of other countries in the world. The Chernobyl confinement. In 2021, the 35th anniversary of the Chernobyl disaster. Chernobyl NPP. What is on the fire there? We had an explosion. We had a blast. We had a big disaster that happened in Chernobyl nuclear power plant, Gorbachev says. Wherever you are, wherever you live, you need to bring up your children. You need to believe that soon, soon here, we're going to have the greatest world possible for our children. ARTEFACT presents the immersive exhibition in 6 different cities. While in 4 different cities, it's going to be virtual, and in 2, real. The unique format with mobile shelters, located in the downtown park areas of cities, at the leisure areas, interesting interactive zone for the whole family. Real exhibits from the 2019 exhibition. Virtual exhibits on the TV screens. Virtual exhibit area for VR technology. Access. One-stop virtual and real exhibitions. Urban format. Art pieces in the photo area. An interesting event for diverse audiences. Broad coverage in the media.
Так, це була
All
наша.
right, this was our vision that we embodied regarding what we embodied already back in 2019. In 2020, we had to do that online, but that also had its own advantages because we managed to attract many interesting artists and made the first virtual. They created first artworks, digital, like Maria Primachenko, Arsen Vladov, Ivan Marchuk. And those artworks are very much interesting, and they will be available in the Chernobyl app, as well as in the new exhibition that we talk about later,